Welcome on into Week 5 Avengers Focus. I am your host, The Executioner, and if you don't know, now you know. In this past week's episode, we spoke about the trade that sent shockwaves through LA when veteran wide receiver Joe Hills was sent to the Dallas Six Shooters in exchange for wide receiver Josh Reynolds. Reynolds was a name the fans were extremely hyped about seeing on Saturday, but there was a mix-up in the paperwork in the SFL Front Office that made Reynolds ineligible to play in Week 5's game against the Buffalo Gunners. Owner and GM Chris Clips Hernandez was on KXXA Assassin City Radio to comment on the mix-up.
Listen here, man. All I know is that they didn't want to put the paperwork back where it needed to go, and then all of a sudden, we have nothing. The front office of the SFL doesn't want to work, and I'm tired of it. Bullshit.
Wow, harsh words from the owner, but more than likely something that needed to be said. Reynolds will finally make his debut in Week 6 against the Carolina Generals. Now it's time for the Week 5 recap. Week 5, LA travels to Buffalo to face the Gunners in what was seen on paper as a heavyweight matchup. However, by halftime, this one was pretty much over. First quarter, the Avengers would come out with two drives that would lead to two Matt Gay field goals, one going for 34 yards and the other going for 33. However, this is the only offense that the Avengers would muster the rest of the game. Quarterback Jacob Dolegala struggled at the helm. It could not bring a much needed spark to the offense. With that being said, the Gunners took advantage when running back Trey Mason took it up the middle for a 1-yard touchdown, taking the lead in the first quarter, and the Gunners never gave it back. Second quarter now, quarterback Gardner Minshew finds wide receiver DeVaris Daniels for a 37-yard touchdown that would extend the lead to 14. It only gets worse from there for the Avengers as Trey Mason rips off another huge run for a 59-yard touchdown that gave the Gunners 21 points to the Avengers 6. Then, right before half, Minshew leads Buffalo on a 14-play, 80-yard drive that led to the Minshew-Davis connection for the second time today. This time on a 10-yard touchdown that made the score 28-6 going into halftime. This has truly become an embarrassment for the Avengers. The nail in the coffin came late in the third quarter when Minshew found wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling for a 25-yard touchdown. It was a beautiful pass by Minshew, who ends the day with 22 completions, 294 yards, and 3 touchdowns. While Trey Mason had a nice game, two players in particular really gave the Gunners a huge edge. First was star tight end George Kittle, who had 7 catches and 102 yards, completely tearing through the Avengers defense. Last but not least, Marquez Valdez-Scantling finished the day with 9 catches, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown in the beatdown in Buffalo. That's going to be the end of regulation for the two teams. On the offensive side, Jacob Dolegala had his worst game of the season as he went 10 for 28, 152 yards with no scores. Philip Lindsay, for whatever reason, only touched the ball 12 times for 30 yards. Mark Andrews and Jamal Custis led the way with 3 catches each on the wide receiver side. On the defensive side, the team had a combined 58 tackles on the game, with strong safety Eric Pinkins and cornerbacks Fabian Moreau and Trey Herndon leading the way with 6. That's going to do it for today's episode as the Los Angeles Avengers lose to the Buffalo Gunners 35-6. Join us next week to see how Josh Reynolds actually fared in his debut for the Avengers as they fly back home to face the 2-3 Carolina Generals. Thank you everyone for watching another episode of Avengers Focus. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.